So, what exactly is company culture and what can you do to establish it in your own business? Hey guys, Abby Johnson here with Matterhorn Business Development. I am joined by Greg Winteregg, CEO of Matterhorn Business Development. And if you can't tell already, today we are talking about company culture. This is kind of a buzzword that I think gets thrown around, but let's talk about exactly what it is and how you can use this to improve your employee retention and overall morale of your group.
So first of all, what is company culture? Mm-hmm. So for me, it has to do, and this comes from the top, mm-hmm. It has to do with what is kind of expected. Mm-hmm. That would be part of the culture. What are like part of the company culture could be, we always show up 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
So everybody knows we're supposed to be here at 8, but the boss won't get upset until 8:15. Yeah. That's part of the company culture.
And on the other hand, it could be like, no, we all show up on time, and if you're the one who's late, everyone is going to razz you and make fun of you. So those are kind of two different extremes. So it's kind of the group values and traits of the group. And it does need to be set from the top, but then it's also within the employees to keep it there as well, basically.
Absolutely. So I think this was prior to COVID. There was this company that was blowing up called WeWorks, this group thing. Mm-hmm. They were valued at some whatever tens of billions of dollars. But then I read an article that the CEO is smoking marijuana on the job. Mm-hmm. Okay, if that's what you want to do, then that's part of your company culture. Mm-hmm. So I kind of predicted at that point, if the CEO is smoking marijuana on the job, this is not his own personal time. For me, I just didn't think that had a lot of staying power. Mm-hmm. But that is an example of culture, and it is an example of culture coming down from the top.
And I think as an employee, you can decide if you like that company culture and if you fit in that company culture. As the employer, it's the same way. My husband used to work at a recruiting firm where it was very aggressive and hungry, and during the interviews they would really look at, can this person handle our company culture where we're always kind of teasing each other, but they work hard and are aggressive, like I said. So you have to find on both ends, as an employee and an employer, if you're a match in the group and that vibe that the group is setting.
So then my advice to the owner is you establish your company culture. And if you have your values and you're laying out your values and you're hiring someone, or you see activity or actions that are outside of your values, then you need to correct the employees, the managers, whoever it might be, because that's part of your brand now. That's part of your culture. I know that there's a tradesman that I know, and when his employees show up at a house, they put on booties, and when they're done, they sweep. That's just part of his culture. So the owner has established, when I leave, that house is going to be as clean as I found it, if not cleaner. That's part of his culture. And so he cannot then have sloppy employees who don't wear the booties, who don't sweep, and don't make it look nice the way they found it, because that's part of his brand and part of his culture. So culture ends up becoming part of your brand. Culture ends up making you different in whatever category. And I'm not being judgmental about any culture, any category. But then as an owner, you can't allow employees or customers to shape your culture in the interest of just keeping this one employee or in the interest of just having this one customer.
Yeah, and another couple examples, I kind of want to show some good and maybe bad examples to look out for. So to give you some ideas of what you want to set within your own business. So I think kind of on a positive note, which this might not be right for everyone, but my friends work at a company where, they really don't care about you clocking in and out and how many hours you're putting in and did you work exactly 8 hours today. All they care about is that you got your job done, that you got the tasks done that you needed to get done. And that's part of their culture. Whereas someone might, another owner might put more importance on that and say, no, I want you working exactly 8 hours to do. If you aren't sure what to work on, find something else to work on. And neither one of those is right or wrong. It's just two different
It's just part of the culture.
Right. And now I think another thing to be aware of is when a culture can become toxic or unsafe or non-productive. An example of this is I was listening to an advice show and I was so upset because the caller called in and said, I'm being bullied by a coworker. They're constantly attacking me verbally and putting me down and all of these things. Should I go to my manager about this? And the advice show was like, no,
What?
You don't want to be a tattletale. No. What? Which I thought was awful, but there is this culture in some businesses or corporations where you feel like you can't speak up and say, my coworker is doing something wrong. And also, it should have been within the culture that bullying is not accepted.
Exactly.
And when they did go to their manager, the manager was like, sorry. Like, they did nothing about it. So to me, that's like a toxic, harmful culture where, right now it's just the three of us here at Matterhorn. But to me, I definitely, once we do have employees, we will start setting out values, and that's definitely one that would not be tolerated.
Right.
There's no way that would be tolerated by any of us in this company.
Well, and not to get too far off into the weeds, but that owner has to know this is going on at least in some degree,
right,
and is tolerating it, and that's just setting himself up for a lawsuit.
Now, here's how you can actually establish your company culture, because what if that was just a manager who is a crappy manager and the business owner or the CEO has no idea? They probably don't know this is happening because they don't need to know every single little tiny thing. I get the idea this might have been a bigger corporation, but as the CEO or owner, that's where you should put down on paper, these are our values, as and every employee reads those values and knows what they are when they're coming on board. I know, a lot of points on these company values I've seen is like no drama, or I'll say it in a polite way, no mean people. We've heard it.
Yes.
You can replace mean people with a different word. But, that's where you need to actually lay it out point by point. This is what's expected of you in our company.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So, in summary, it starts at the top. You get to decide your culture. Don't let one or two employees, don't let one or two customers influence your culture and eventually your brand.
So, if you liked this video, make sure you subscribe for more. We're putting out 3 videos a week of more business tips like this one right here. So hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and we will see you next time.